Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back to the show. We are joined by architect and pro tennis player John Riggio, live today. I believe he's out in Metuchen, New Jersey, unless he's on vacation. But always a lot to talk about, of course, his book, his architecture work, and his pro tennis playing years, let alone his continual playing of pro tennis these days and all he's up to. So how are you doing today?
Great. Thanks, Jill. Good to see you.
You too, sweetheart. Say hello to your audience and let's begin.
Hi, my name is John Riggio. I usually talk about my architect profession, but recently I've been talking about some past years when I was a pro tennis player. And the story seems to go on and on. I was thinking about from last week, and I really had to think about what was happening. And there's a lot of amazing things. But last year, I wrote a book about my architect profession and my tennis playing. I was involved both at the same time, and my book is called My Own Court, The Life Story of Tennis Legend John Riggio. And also last year, I was also put into a book called The Top 100 Innovators and Entrepreneurs, and I'm on page 42 on this book.
Awesome.
And, so this shows the whole story, and this is very good. It really puts everything together with tennis and architect work and everything. And so from last week, I was talking about my friend Angie, who everyone knows as Lady Gaga. And I didn't want to understate the story with her. I initially had talked about her a while ago. And now that I'm getting into the story, I'm thinking about it. And things became very serious with us. So about 1988, I first met her at the Sutton's Tennis Center in Manhattan, New York City. And we slowly got along. But this took over some time. I think this was going on from like 1988 to like 1990 or something like that. It was going on for a number of years. And what happened is we started to get along very well. But it became more serious, more involved than I had even said the last time. So we fell in love. We are interested to get married. My sponsor is okaying us getting married, seeing each other outside the tennis center, and Angie starts to talk to her parents about me, and they come down to the tennis center. So they're there at the tennis center. They see me playing some tennis matches, winning matches. They talk to my sponsor, Gloria Vanderbilt is there, and this is going on for a while. So what happened is one day, they have me come and talk to everyone in the lobby area, and I'm talking to Angie's father. His name is Joe. I just had to research it. And we're talking together, and Joe's really cool. He really likes me. We're talking together, and he knows that I'm going out with his daughter. And then particularly with Joe, we go over a lot of different things. We are talking about my relationship with the daughter and everything like that. And one interesting thing, he was saying that she was going out with other guys. She's met her other boyfriends, but she likes me the best. This is a big difference compared to, say, Liz and her mother at the time did not like me at all and did not want even me to see her unless she died. So this is a big difference is going on here. Her father, Angie's father, really likes me. Angie's mother likes me. Everything's okay with getting married. So this is discussion is going on, and I think one thing that was happening was her father was asking me how well do I know her. Are we just talking together? Things like that. And I didn't really want to tell him too much. I just sort of said, yeah, we get along great. We really know each other, things like that. But to our left side, there is Angie's mother. There's Gloria is there, and Angie is there, and they're talking together. And I think this kind of conversation happened a few times. We went through this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I didn't talk to them. They were just watching me play tennis, and
Mm-hmm.
they were just talking to Gloria. But on this particular time, we were talking. And Angie, I was assuming had told them the story. What happened is Angie tells me that I had gotten her pregnant,
Oh
so
my.
she wants to hurry up the wedding.
Oh my
So
goodness.
this is becoming very serious. It's becoming very
Yeah.
real. And I think our whole relationship was very good. And I said, okay, yes, of course, we can go ahead with this whole marriage. It sounds really good. Um, She was eligible to get married. She didn't have any other definite marriages. So this far as just us getting married are good. Now we're in the lobby. I don't know what she told her mother, what Gloria knows. And so this situation saying that she is pregnant is very interesting. I didn't want to tell the father. I didn't go to the hospital with Angie or anything. This was just happening over the last couple of weeks was going on. And this was an interesting situation. So as far as that is concerned, everything was okay. There was no objection still. I think Gloria Vanderbilt wanted us to even go walk down and get a marriage right then and there, which was okay. I think that was good. I didn't really tell my family about this at all. A lot of times they didn't even know I was going down to the tennis center to play pro tennis. I had to keep everything very tight. I did not say too much about it. And so the idea of going and even getting official marriage and then coming back home to my family is okay with me. I don't think they could really say anything about it. I had all the backing to go ahead with it. And I think Angie's parents wanting me to get married to her was really big. Now, I think I had told the last story of what had happened, but there's a few interesting things. One thing that was happening at this time too is Liz. I'd already went out with a few different females over the last few years with the tennis, and Liz, in fact, they were turning down for me to get married to. I have a picture
Wow.
of Liz here. Let me just share a photograph.
Sure.
Okay, so this is Liz Krasnolka.
Aw.
Now I knew her for a long time. This is the same one I helped when she was about 7, 8 years old. And this photograph is in the year 2013, which is the same year we had that Las Vegas wedding. So, but this is a very nice picture. And so that is her picture. And she in fact, was there. So when Angie was walking into the tennis center to meet me, she had to walk past the lobby. And what happened is
Ah.
Liz, who I already knew, she was waiting there. And Angie walks over to me and tells me that there's some young teenager
Wow.
waiting in the lobby. And she's crying and she doesn't know what she's doing there. And she says she told me her name was Liz Dahl.
Oh my gosh.
And so I explained to Angie what the story is with her. That her name is really Krasenwalker, and that whole thing with the name Doll has to do with this crazy story of her having to go and do things with these people, and because of her kidnapping. So what
Wow.
happened is she in fact was uh, wondering if they should make a way. She doesn't come into the tennis
Yeah.
center anymore.
Wow.
And but I think after I talked to her, I told her the situation. Like what was happening with Liz at this time was like the first stage of her having a problem finding a place to live. Because of this whole thing, she ended up getting allowed to sleep in the tennis center for a number of nights. I don't know how many nights, but me and the Angie, we went through our first big decision: what to do with Liz. Should she stay outside? Should she stay in there? I wasn't telling Liz to come over. Someone was telling her to come over, and I think she was just coming over on her own. Of course, she liked doing things with me. She liked talking to me. We were still staying friends. I did not break off with her as far as
Yeah.
friendship. Her getting put down by my sponsor that she can't get married, sort of put a little damper on things for her, and she felt very down. So
Mm-hmm.
she was there crying and things like that, and so what happened is Angie and me made our first decision, and that was to help Liz, not let her just stay outside. We
Ah.
didn't want her just staying outside on the sidewalk. So,
Mm-hmm.
and in fact, Angie, she gave Liz entertainment gift. She gave her a gift where she could go do some kind of thing. And Liz later told me that she was very happy about that. She thanked me for it, and she said that was a very nice gift. I think we even had the idea of her staying in on this marriage. Maybe she can be part of the
Mm-hmm.
marriage ceremony. So this marriage idea was not a joke. It was very real. And in fact, I think this thing also with her name doll, from what Angie had told me, she talked to Liz and she looked a little funny, like a horror show. When she talked to her and says her name is her original name, because she looks completely different, like someone else. It was really unbelievable what was happening. So, this is really amazing. I think let's see in this picture, let's here. So in this picture, yeah, she looks okay. Everything is all right in this
Mm-hmm.
photograph of Liz. And so this is she went there and saw
Beautiful. Mm-hmm.
this young lady here. So then that whole issue was over. But what happened is we had this whole family meeting now. I had talking to the father, talking to the mother's there. Angie's talking to Gloria, and Liz walks into the tennis center. They didn't lock the door. They didn't have the manager watching what's going on. She walks into the tennis center like we were letting her do. I think that's started to cause a little instability. But in
Ooh.
fact, it came out, I explained to the father that Liz was just coming there as part of my sponsors. I think she might have walked in on her own that particular day, but that's how she
Mm-hmm.
was walking in. And so I think that problem was solved. I think
Wow.
with any relationship, there's always other people around. I think Angie had other boyfriends around. No one necessarily went away or anything, so there was all kinds of people around us. I don't think that has anything to do with a marriage, stopping marriage, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Oh, sorry.
and but I think that was really one interesting thing. One thing I want to share here is another picture was let me get this picture on here. Okay, so this picture here is Angie over here.
Mm-hmm.
Most people know it's Lady Gaga. And
Mm-hmm.
this, her friend over here, I think this is her roommate. What was happening is when I was friends with her, I used to call over to her apartment. And
Oh,
one thing about her, she wasn't very talkative on
really?
the telephone. She didn't like telephone talking. I thought that was one little problem that was coming up later. Since she wasn't too much of talking on the telephone, her roommate used to answer the telephone. So I used to talk to the roommate, and she got a whole rundown of talking to me and things like that, getting to get idea of what I'm doing and everything. And we had met. I had met Angie and we're going out and things like that. So I talked to her about things like the basic things, just getting to know her. And whenever I was trying to find out what's going on with Angie, I'd call over there, and her roommate usually would answer the phone. So that's one interesting thing. I think from Angie's point of view, also, she had problems getting them out of the apartment. they didn't want to leave at all, the things like that. Maybe they thought they were going to get bumped out of the apartment and things like that too when I'm around. So that is one problem that was happening. And I think from these are the same pictures I showed the last time.
Wow.
Now let me see what we have here. This is her father.
Okay.
So I was there and I talked to him. He's a very nice guy, and I think one interesting thing about him was he said he's successful, in his job, is working, and this idea of the marriage was very important to him. He really took to this idea, and he was in fact proposing even an idea of like a 1 year marriage at minimum. I think they made it official that we were engaged. In fact, I remember like a few weeks earlier, months, I don't know how many months or weeks it was at this time, but they had made it official. They agreed that an engagement was okay. So I think, according to the father, they did approve an official engagement with between me and Angie. So that is the truth. And but what was happening here is the father was talking to me, and he really liked me getting married to the daughter. Everything was
Mm-hmm.
good. And this was a big good thing that the parents really liked me. This thing with the mother and other, like with Liz, and was causing a big problem. Now, I
Yeah.
think the only big thing that happened with this marriage proposal, which was going ahead very good, um, Angie says she's pregnant. She wants to get married right away. The father wants them.
Oh,
Everything's good. Gloria wants to walk right down to the town hall, get us married. What happened is Angie's producer, I think you see his picture on some of her CDs. He's the guy who was waiting outside on the sidewalk. And Angie's like investor or maybe like a sponsor of some kind is Martin Scorsese.
wow.
And Martin Scorsese was providing her with that limousine, pushing her. And then he unfortunately was what I was told by the father. I didn't make this up. I didn't even talk to him about anything like this. Was the father was concerned that Martin Scorsese was going to force Angie to have two children, like cult children, like they
Yeah.
were doing with some other entertainers I talked about. And he was so concerned about this that I was talking to him and I was telling him as far as those type of things are going on. I had another friend that had Terry that is he could pay them like $100,000, $50,000 each, and he can get out of this problem.
Wow.
So I told him to call Martin Scorsese about this
Oh
and
my gosh.
talk to him directly. And I think from this, he was really impressed with this idea. I think he sort of liked me about this, and he was inquiring about that. It became very serious. In fact, we ended up talking about this on more than one occasion. I ended up meeting them again a few times. They had come back to the tennis center, so it wasn't a one-time thing. In the meantime, I went and I tried to get the official word about what's going on with this thing with that they can have her have children, like cult children, because of this entertainment contract. And I think in Angie's case with Lady Gaga, the her entertainment was doing very nicely. She was slowly moving up. At the time, she was only doing maybe small locations of 30 people. I think it was moving up to maybe 500. And so she was slowly moving up. She
Yeah.
wasn't really getting any lump of money from what I was told either. But this thing with Scorsese and this having these children was causing such a problem that it was putting a lot of pressure on them, and particularly the father. The father was very upset about this possibility. At the time, he wasn't sure if it was going to take place or what was going to happen. And I asked officially about it, and I was told that have forcing someone to have children because
Ah,
of a entertainment contract is illegal.
yeah.
It's not allowed.
Yeah.
And from this, I think the father was interested in suing her supporters. over this. I don't know if at the time if they were just scaring him. Maybe they think they can get away with it. But I was told it's illegal to have co-children based on an entertainment contract. So I when I told him that, he was very happy about that it wasn't allowed, but I think he still had no idea what the story
Mm-hmm.
was happening and what was going to unfold. Now, the other one was also that other producer that's backing Angie in this. What I was told, Angie was saying that they were threatening not to help her career at all, to end it, did not help. And same thing with Martin Scorsese was giving the threat to her directly to stop the whole
Wow.
thing with her based on marrying me.
Oh
So
my
even though
gosh.
marriage was going on great with the entertainment contract
Mm-hmm.
and all the different things was it did stop the marriage. So even though the parents agreed on an engagement with me, and I did have an official engagement as far as the verbal agreement, there's obviously no engagement in writing. The marriage didn't go ahead. Now, I think the only sad thing was the story with also Angie saying that she was pregnant, and I think over this time she would have lost the child, is what
Mm.
happened. So that is a really crazy thing, a sad thing. So there was a lot of tragedy involved with this. I didn't think about it. Even I could very possibly have done a like a one-time lawsuit against her sponsors to stop the this marriage from not going ahead. The father was the first one to
Yeah.
initiate a lawsuit against them. I don't know if I think he did talk to a lawyer. I didn't tell him everything about myself, but I had already
Mm-hmm.
went to the court about the with the playing at the National Tennis Center in Flushing, New York, and had to go to court, and it worked very successfully. I got an extension of 5 years on my contract,
Wow.
so nothing was stopped. I think the same situation with this is they didn't get me involved with anything like this with the going to the court, going against their sponsors, getting against Angie's sponsor. And so that is what was happening. So I didn't really go ahead with that lawsuit. And
Wow.
well, that was what was happening. At the time, she was playing in venues like this. This is where I had seen her, and she was playing with this. In this photograph, she's right here on the left side. She's right here on the keyboard.
Beautiful. Wow.
So,
Amazing.
okay, let me just stop this
The
picture.
bitter end. I remember that. Yep. Thank you. All right, we're about to wrap up. We got 2 minutes left, John.
Okay.
How did you want to leave off?
Yeah, so what happened is, I wanted to leave off from the last time is that I ended up seeing Angie again at Old Westbury. So this is after my contract is sold. It is at
Okay.
$30 million. My contract is now owned by Ross Perot,
Mm-hmm. Remember
and this is
him?
before Japan bought my contract. I had a whole set of bleachers there where a lot of the top entertainers, the inner circle, were allowed to come there, and one of them was Angie was there.
Oh my
And she was
gosh.
nice enough to come on the court and congratulate me, of course, give me hugs and kisses and everything. She said she was sorry about what had happened in the past. She was interested in staying in contact with me too at that time. And but that is what had happened. And just by chance, I was just remembering I did see her again after that. I just saw her again. It must have been in like the year like 2015 or something like that. I had seen her
Mm-hmm.
and Casey Ho. I got involved with this thing with going to this like ballroom dancing, and I was there. I had to remember what had happened that night, but yeah,
Wow.
I did a couple dances with them, and so I did get to see them. But I think the situation with me going out again, getting serious for marriage, it
Yeah.
didn't come back. But I think from meeting her again, also, I think it's sort of sad. I just sort of put it out of my mind, but I think a marriage would have worked out pretty good. It's pretty sad that her sponsors were able to really try to screw her life up with some things like that, and
Ah.
I was pretty sad about that. But otherwise, just I think the story really is that me and Angie were just like two ordinary people going out,
Yeah.
falling in love, having a great time, and her parents and everything, meeting them that they were happy to get married was really excellent. That was very good.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much for sharing all these details. I can't wait to hear what happens when you run into her again next time. Me
Sure.
too. I'm going to say, John. Oh my goodness. I know him too. So exciting, John. Thank you for sharing. How can we reach out to you?
Sure, you can go to my webpage, www.johnriggio.com. I also have social media on X and on Facebook. For tennis, it's John Riggio Pro Tennis Players on Facebook, and you see all kinds of pictures. There's links to a whole list of information about my tennis playing, and I hope you enjoy it.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You have a fantastic day. Looking forward to next time, John. Always a pleasure. And enjoy. Talk soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Stay warm. Bye.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hello, my name is John Riggio. I'm the CEO of John Riggio, RA Architect, LLC. I provide architect services in the New York City metropolitan area. That includes New York City, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania. My areas are specifically Long Island, the 5 boroughs of New York City, Westchester, Yonkers. In New Jersey, it is North Jersey, Central Jersey, and South Jersey. In Philadelphia, the areas are the Philadelphia metropolitan area. You can find out more information about my company at www.johnriggio.com. That's spelled JOHNRIGGIO.com. And there you will find out a description of my work. It shows a portfolio, pictures of the different job types. And I also have my contact information there. It shows my business address. From there, you can contact me and we can discuss your project. First, we will make an initial consultation. And then from there, we will then go over designing your project and then constructing your project. So I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you. Bye.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.